So this week, we're going to learn about Daniel in the lion's den. Have any of you heard that story? I'm sure you have. I've taught in Sunday school, and I'm sure it's a really popular story that's in some of your children's Bibles. But this week, we're going to make a lion to help us remember that story. Our lion's kind of 3D, and he has this cool mane. Let's go ahead and listen to the story. Would you like to spend a night in a den full of hungry lions? This is a story about a man in the Bible who was given a choice: either stop praying to God or to be fed to the lions. Daniel loved God with all his heart. He prayed to God lots of times every day. Daniel did what was good and right. He worked for the king of Babylon. The king saw that Daniel worked hard and always did what was good and right. The king made Daniel the boss, but the king's other helpers wanted to be boss instead. The king's other helpers got angry. They tricked the king into making a rule: anyone who prayed to God would be thrown in the lion's den. Daniel heard about the king's rule. "I love God, and I will still pray," said Daniel. The king's helpers looked in the window. They saw Daniel praying and told the king. Daniel had broken the king's rules. The king was very sad. He knew he had been tricked. "Daniel's God will look after him," said the king. Daniel was thrown into the lion's den. He was not afraid. He just prayed to God. The king could not sleep. He was so sad. In the morning, he looked in the lion's den. The king saw that Daniel was safe. God's angel had shut the lions' mouths. The king then made a new rule: everyone must love God and pray only to him. So Daniel was really brave, wasn't he? What made him so brave? He let the king throw him in the lion's den, didn't he? What law did he break? He broke a law that said he couldn't pray to God anymore. And Daniel was really, really faithful. He really prayed to God every day, every chance he got. He prayed multiple times a day, and he never stopped praying. So, when the king made a law that said he couldn't pray anymore, he didn't really know what to do. But he knew what his faith told him to do. His faith told him to keep praying and to keep being faithful, and that God will protect him and that God will be with him. And that's what happened. God protected him from the lions and helped him gain favor with the king again. He was in charge again after he was in the lion's den. So this story also teaches us about jealousy. Who got jealous in this story? Who was jealous of Daniel? Who wanted what Daniel had? The king's other advisors, right? They were jealous that the king liked Daniel best, that he was in charge. Sometimes we feel that adults in our lives might have a favorite kid, whether it be our parents or our teachers, and we want to be the favorite, right? That's how those people felt. They wanted to be the king's favorite. But we can't always be the favorite. A lot of times those people don't really have favorites, right? Parents don't really have a favorite kid. So we think. But we can't lash out at those other people because God also has taught us to love everybody else, right? So we have to love each other even when we are jealous and when we think someone else is getting something better. So we need to try to remember to love each other even when we're jealous. We always need to remember to share and care and all of that good stuff. So let's go ahead and start working on our craft. For this craft, you're going to need 2 sheets of yellow or orange paper, a pair of scissors, tape or glue. I can't find any of my glue after moving, and a marker. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to draw a circle on one of your sheets of yellow paper. This is going to be your lion's face. After you've drawn that circle, you're going to go ahead and cut it out. with your next sheet of paper, I want you to cut small strips going so the paper you're cutting the short way and not the long way. You don't want these strips to be too long. This is going to be our lion's mane. How we're going to bend them over, and it's going to be kind of 3D. What does 3D mean? 3D stands for three-dimensional. That means it's going to like pop out and isn't going to be flat. So our mane's going to kind of pop out and it's going to be 3D. So I want you to cut your whole sheet of paper up into these little strips. So this is the tricky part of the craft. So you take your lion's face, I want you to flip him over so we're looking at the back of your lion's head. And then, with your strips of paper, I want you to fold them in half. And I'm going to tape mine down. You could be using a glue stick for sure. But I want to fold it down so it's looped up like this. So that is going to be my lion's mane. So I'm just going to take strips of paper and I'm going to go all the way around him, taping the loops down. And the loops are why our lion's mane is going to be three-dimensional. So you can put as many of these on as you would like, but make sure you go all the way around his head, because you don't want to have a lion with only part of a mane, right? How else could you make your lion a little more exciting? Maybe using some different colors for his mane. Maybe if you have some orange or some red construction paper, you could use that for his mane. I don't have any. My craft supplies are really very limited right now. But this is how your lion's mane will go on. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up my lion off camera so you don't have to watch me. So here's what my lion ended up looking like. So I think it'd be even more fun if I had some different colored paper strips to make his mane. If I had some oranges and some reds, he'd really pop out. And if I had some googly eyes that you could put on there instead of just drawing his eyes on there. But this is your craft for this week. I hope you had fun, and I'll see you on Sunday. Bye!